Marine scientist Die Dejean began working at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in October. By mid-February, he had been dismissed. Dejean and hundreds of others were affected by job cuts, targeting probationary workers as President Donald Trump's administration began slashing funding for universities and research bodies. He's now applying for jobs in Europe.
It is likely that the opportunities for me and others to find another job that will use our skills in the US are going to be few.
Trump's administration says billions of dollars in cuts are needed to curb the federal deficit and bring the U.S. debt under control. Dejean says he will go wherever there are opportunities, even if there is a high cost.
I'm going to probably lose my connection to my daughter who lives here in Florida. I do it because I'm passionate about science, about the marine environment. I will move overseas.
The threat to academics' livelihoods at universities including Yale, Columbia, and Johns Hopkins has given Europe's political leaders hope they could reap an intellectual windfall. A letter reviewed by Reuters, signed in March by 13 European countries, urged the EU Commission to move fast to attract academic talent. And the European Research Council told Reuters it would double the relocation budget for funding researchers moving to the EU. 13 European universities and research institutes that spoke to Reuters reported seeing an increase in US-based employees and academics considering a move. But pulling in US talent requires more than goodwill. For decades, Europe has lagged far behind the US on investment of higher learning. Total expenditure on research and development in the EU in 2023 was more than $400 billion, according to Eurostat. That same year, U.S. spending was $940 billion, according to the National Center for Science and Engineering Statistics. A White House official said even with the cuts, the U.S. would still account for most of the world's research funding, and dozens of scientists have taken to social media, encouraging peers to stay in the U.S. Michael Olesen, an epidemiologist based in Washington, D.C., said language barriers were one potential drawback.
Really, the hurdles are just finding work, figuring out how to do that transition and moving. I'd probably sell most everything I have and just start fresh.
Olesen said any brain drain of US-based scientists wouldn't necessarily have a short-term impact, but future generations would be affected.
The long-term implications, though, with losing some of the thought leaders in the sciences is that you also lose the educators, and you need that classroom setting a lot of times to learn how to do science properly.